Welcome back to the Steel Target Paint Podcast. I'm Jeff Jones, and I invited Steve, but he hasn't shown up yet, so I'm going to be flying this solo.
Jeff.
So guys are going to have to bear with me.
Jeff, I'm right
it's
here.
Just me. It's not Steve. So maybe he'll dial in. I don't know.
Jeff.
Oh wait, he's here. Hey, Steve.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Man, it's been a while since we've had a chance to talk. You've had a lot of things going on in your life over the last couple of months. And, I called Steve up and I said, Steve, we got to do a podcast. And it wasn't, oh, I'm too busy. It wasn't, I don't know if I have time. His only one-word answer was when.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be back. And Steve, I'm happy that we're back together on the podcast. How you been?
Man, it's been I think since the last podcast, a lot's happened. I think
you've had your family's been in a bunch of hospitals in a bunch of different states a number of times.
Yeah, I think the bill in the last couple of months is about $300,000. So thank goodness for insurance. I didn't say good insurance, I just said insurance. You know what I mean?
Well, for those of you that are interested, Steve does have a home range and he does train. His rates have gone up to $300,000 a session.
Dang copays.
Well, man, have you had any chance to shoot at all lately?
Interestingly enough, yes, I have. I've been doing more training than shooting. When I say training, folks training here.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a lot of things going on. I got a couple of 929, sent one off to TK Custom, and man, that baby's sweet.
Yeah, mine haven't had the TK trigger job done on, but I have shot one of those in steel with a TK, and they're like butter.
Yeah, Eli did some work on a 617 for me, and so that bad boy's nice. But that 929. I did the aesthetic type package as well. It removed the underlug and lightened the top rail. I don't know how much weight it took. Maybe it's 8 ounces or something like that. But it's interesting that it's probably not a ton of weight, but it feels so much better, much more balanced. So outside of the full action job and all that kind of jazz. And what's interesting, I thought there was going to be a little bit of polishing, a little bit of rubbing and all that kind of stuff. And I got a bag back full of parts. Oh yeah, they pretty much replaced the entire guts of the whole inside.
Yeah.
It's if you shoot revolvers and you don't have a TK custom action job, you're missing out.
Well, I got my GM in OSR a couple of months ago, and it's funny because there's a number of shooters down here. The entire Hui clan, which is Dan, Christy, Ryan, and Caleb, have been borrowing a bunch of my guns to make it to Club 13. So while I made Club 13, my guns are going to make about Club 39.
I hear you.
So, and I've always joked about Club 13 is access to and willingness to shoot a revolver in Steel Challenge.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different experience shooting a revolver compared to another gun. But you know what though? It's one of those interesting things that I guess growing up as a kid, I always had a cap gun, and they were always revolvers. And
yeah,
that's I don't know, maybe that's rekindling my childhood, but that's one of the things I love the most about Metal Madness is they have a revolver division for 22, and man, that's some of the most fun I've had shooting in the last couple of years. But yeah, I've done a little bit of shooting, some local matches, but it's been interesting. There hasn't been a ton of major matches throughout. Pretty much since the World Speed Shoot, there's been a couple here or there,
yeah, there's been a couple area matches that have happened. I don't think Area 2's having an area match this year. I think that's USPSA. There was one that happened not too long ago. I know Area 6 is coming up end of the year.
What's up in New Hampshire? Seven or 8?
I think they may be 7, and I think that might be the one that just happened because that's the one that's sponsored by Tandem Cross.
Yep.
Let's just go take a quick pick here to results, and we will look at major matches, tier 3 matches. Yeah, so started off the year with the World Speed in April, and then Area 8 was in May. Area 3, sponsored by Steel Target Paint, was in end of May. In June was Area 5. Canadian National Championships were in July, and then beginning of August, looks like we both had both the Area 7 and the Area 1. So, like I said, I don't think Area 2 is having one. I know 6 is coming up, and I think that leaves maybe Area 4 left. So, but you're right. There hasn't been, it's been a tough year. I know coming up end of September, I've got my local match, and then I'm going up to Jamie's match, and then I think that's followed by Area 6. So I'm getting, a local and then 2 big ones back to back.
I want to explore that more here in just a second, but you mentioned Area 4, and that reminds me of our friend Corey K.
Oh, dude.
The first guy
Yep.
or gal or anybody to become a GM in all 21 divisions. Is that amazing?
We're going to give him a
That's
little
amazing.
clap there. It is quite amazing. Corey, and the cool thing about it is Daniel made it first in steel, and a great guy, and he's been on the podcast. And Corey made all 21, and we've had Corey on the podcast.
Yep.
So it's just great.
The Area 4 match.
Yep. It's great to see those Excelsior moments. It's no small undertaking to get a GM in any division. And to be a multi-GM in divisions is quite an accomplishment, but to make all 21 and to be the first one, it's very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, the commitment and dedication, and I guess having dual income, no kids may help that situation a little bit, but
it's possible.
I'm speculating here. I got a single income and a couple of kids, so I know what that's like. But...
And some goats and numerous other. I saw a dog in a new dog. Didn't I see your daughter get a new dog?
Yeah. So my little one that had brain surgery here a couple months ago, I got her a puppy for her birthday, which was a week and a half ago. So after the hospital, she wanted to get a dog. So she's got an English Springer Spaniel named Melody, which is the same type of dog that Vanessa has, Bandit. He's probably almost 2 years old now. They're really cool dogs. Probably more personality than most people I know.
Growing up with my kids, we had Cocker Spaniels. So similar but different. And fun dogs. Now the dogs get along?
Oh yeah. Those dogs are like a Velcro dog. They always want to be where you're at, and most of the time on top of you.
So we've got dogs, and I know everyone knows you've got goats.
I don't have a single goat. My wife does.
Oh. Well, let's just say on the premises. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
on the Foster farm. I believe there are rabbits, correct?
That is correct.
I want to say guinea pigs. Am I correct there?
So the last time you were here, there were guinea pigs. They're all gone now.
Okay.
So there's guinea hens.
Okay.
Ducks and fish. There's a couple of lizards. I don't know what the heck she's got going on down there. There's a bearded dragon, some geckos, lots of fish. 4 dogs.
You've got the room.
Cats and
You've got the room, and I watch a lot of reptile shows. What you need is like a Nile monitor now.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just thankful, Jeff, because somehow I put a mini split in my shop where I do all my circoating, laser engraving, stuff like that. I'm just thankful that my wife had 4 baby goats, and none of them ended up in the shop this time. They actually ended up in the kitchen for a week. Yep. I'm okay with that as long as they're not out here. Completely back on subject.
Yes.
So, because I haven't talked to Zach lately, and I saw there was some USPSA minutes out there. No, I'm not talking about the drama. Did I ever tell you? Thank goodness we're in Steel Challenge, not on that side of the street. Anyway, that's another podcast. But So do you know has it been announced yet or about the qualification of the area matches? I know there was some discussion about it for a world speed
The
shoot slot.
presentation, yeah,
Where's that at?
the presentation has been made. There were 4 presentations that Zach made, and it's in the minutes. So
Yep.
the first one is going to be what's the slot policy? Okay. Then there's going to be the peak time changes that have been suggested. There is if you didn't know, and a lot of people that have been shooting long enough have seen this happen, your scores will fall off. So, a guy like me that hasn't shot rimfire rifle iron for over 3 years, while I've got a classification, I don't really show any best times because they fell off, because the way the rules are currently written, it's the current year plus 2. So that's going to change. And it's going to just all your scores for all time are going to count. Okay. And then the big one that I think a lot of people are going to like is the selective reclassification. And this is going to be one where
we've been talking about that for a long time.
Yep. If voted on and passed, and all these have to be voted on by the board and passed, they've been presented. Keep an eye out on all the social media outlets and the websites, both USPSA and Steel Challenge, where the documents will be posted to give the members a chance to make comments. Now, I will tell you that only the comments that come through the Steel Challenge website are going to be considered, because that's going to be considered coming from Steel Challenge shooters.
Right.
So, but they'll all be taken into account. And then I believe they're going to be voted on in November. And for those that haven't been following, we have a new elected president of the USPSA. And congratulations to Yi Min Lin. He is now, president-elect of the USPSA. I'm not sure when he'll actually take official capacity of the office. That'll probably be in a little, I don't know what the bylaws say, when it starts, but Yi Min has won the election, and congratulations to him. So, but yes, getting back to that last one, selective reclassification. And yes, we've talked about it. And this is where over time, we've changed the peak times for many of the stages. And it's caused people to, Zach Jones is a classic example. He's rated a master in a division, but his best times ever shot against the current and proposed times, he's only an A shooter.
Sure.
So he's competing whenever he goes to a match at the master class level. And so the selective reclassification allows each person individually by division, if there's an opportunity to be reclassified, you're going to be able to, and I don't know how it's going to be set up, whether it's, click a button or hit a check mark. But the goal would be that you're going to get a month of time. And when this happens, there'll be a number of, social media, and, we'll cover it on the podcast, and others will as well, hopefully, to let people know you've got this much time to go in, and you can selectively choose to be reclassified in a division, or for any and all divisions that you qualify for reclassification. So those are the big things that are coming up with regards to Steel Challenge on the corporate level, if you will.
Interesting.
So getting back to matches, you said, and you're right. I mean, it's definitely been a year, I think, kind of a recovery year. I can remember, I'm looking here, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's been 10 Area 2 matches. I think by this time last year, we probably had 10 Area 2 matches. And it's just, I think it's just a sign of the times. Ammo's starting to get back. In fact, I just got a text from a buddy of mine that, he's got another shipment of primers coming in. So
really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're becoming available. So
I
for
need some
those,
federal for my new my new blaster.
yes, that is absolutely true. In fact, when the Hueys were shooting my revolver, I put the stock strain screw back into it so they could shoot production ammo.
Really?
Yeah, there was no way it was gonna shoot anything. I just didn't have enough federal primers for them to borrow. Um, so that worked out. It worked out good for them. Dan's got his club 13, and I think I started a Saturday night match. So I've always had the third Saturday day match, but I've started a 4-stage Saturday night match, which has proved to be uh, attended well. It's a 4 or 5 stage, but it's only ever 4 squads match, and we're getting any from 30 to 36 people showing up for the match. So makes for a good time on a Saturday night. And of course, at the WAC at night, we've got the lights. So it's definitely an experience on top of the already experience at the WAC that you get shooting there.
That's awesome.
And for those that we've got the West Florida coming up in February, and I hope everybody comes down and is able to shoot it. But the WAC is going through some major innovations right now, so we no longer have the railroad ties as separators between the bays in the back. We've been
Really?
tearing those. Yep, we've been tearing the railroad ties down. They've just been eroding, and for safety purposes and a number of other things, they decided to tear them down, and they're constructing back cinder block walls that are then poured full of concrete, so they're solid, and then we're tap conning in 3/4 inch plywood on the walls to help cut down on some of the noise. And one of the goals we're talking about is possibly painting them at least up high, and with the lights, paint them white. I mean, hopefully at night it's going to be just as bright as it is there in the day.
Yeah, that would be awesome because
Yeah.
it gets dark in those bays for sure.
It does. And even at night with the lights, we've got LEDs, a number of LED lines of LED tube lights, and then 2 big LED spotlights, if you will, in the bays. You can still get shadows, and especially for USPSA, when a stage designer realizes they've put a piece of steel behind a barrel in an area where the light's out, it becomes a challenge to find that steel.
Oopsie. That's too
So
funny.
now, are you coming to Jamie's match? I believe it's called the South Georgia Steel Challenge Championship.
As of right now, that's my plan. I'm not sure how much we've talked about it, but I started a new job in January of this past year, and it
Yep.
was let's just say there's a lot going on, and it's pretty much cleaned up right now. But now we're entering our peak season, so that starts actually this month, so it's going to be ramping up quite a bit. So that's the only area I'm not sure of how many major matches I'm going to be able to shoot in the next couple of months as we ramp up. I would hate to miss that match, but my plan is to shoot it. But we'll see. We'll see.
So here, just to give you an idea, since I'm sitting right here in front of the computer, and for all those listening, this weekend is the Indiana State Steel Challenge Championships. It looks like in 2 weeks, the East Coast Challenge Series Championship is happening in Pennsylvania. Then we've got end of September is the Cornhusker Classic. Area 6 is also at the end of September. Ohio Steel Classic is also at the end of September. Then you've got they're at the end of September. Wow, a lot of things happening last weekend in September. You've also got the Idaho State Steel Challenge Championships. Then getting into October, we've got New Jersey State, Kentucky Steel, Cactus Compat Speed Steel. Not sure what that is. Sounds interesting. Maybe that's just their name, and they're still just doing Steel Challenge. That's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. Mid-October, we've got Virginia State Steel, Mid-October is also the U.S. Steel Shoot. Late October, we've got the Mississippi Steel Challenge.
Hey, is the Mississippi the same weekend as the U.S. Steel Shoot?
They are, and I believe it's also
Yeah.
the same weekend as Rimfire
Rimfire
Worlds.
Challenge. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a lot of shooting that can be done that weekend based on where you want to go. And then getting into December, doesn't look like there's anything scheduled for November, but in December, you've got the Florida State first week in December. And then my match in February, third week in February, the West Florida Steel Challenge Championships. That's going to be the sixth episode of that match. And we're hoping keeping the price the same. And, it's all about the shooters. Going to try to get painters.
Important question. When's registration open up?
Registration will probably open up first of the year, maybe. Yeah, I would say first of the year. That'll be about 6 weeks before the match. We don't tend to want to open it up too much sooner than that. We don't, a lot of matches. And if you've read the article on that Jake wrote about what it takes to put on a match, a lot of those same things happen in Steel Challenge. We're very fortunate at the WAC where we don't have to come up with the money up front to rent the bays. We just, that's our steel weekend. And we do have a couple of matches throughout the week that we have to cancel. So we can do setup and RO day. But we're not having to come up with the money up front, where a lot of matches will, have their sign up 6 months in advance, trying to get some of that early money in so they can pay the range and reserve the range. So we don't have to do that. There'll be a lot coming on towards the end of the year. We'll start promoting it again. And, you and I talked about a new idea for awards. I like to change it up. We've done the classic plaques, and we've done the engraved tumblers, and you did the coins. And I've come up with another idea that you and I have talked about, and I got to ship you up some of the product and see what you think.
That reminds me, I'm going to take a picture of one of the things that we talked about. I'm going to send it to you while we're here on the podcast.
Okay, sounds good. And then, of course, the last thing on the list, but clearly the most important one is at the end of April in 23 is the World Speed Shooting Championships, and that is also going to be at the CMP in Talladega, Alabama. So, and hopefully those that when the slot policy gets voted on, and if it's passed, yes, that looks great, Steve.
I thought you liked
that. You read my mind. Yeah, so hopefully that slot policy will give a lot of opportunity for people to register early, and it won't be as psychotic as it's been in the past couple of years with 700 guns trying to get registered in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Hey, you know what else has been happening in the Steel Challenge world in the last, I'd say last 4 weeks or so?
Let's hear it.
Oh, tons of people are getting their new JP5s, man. Oh, they're all over the place.
I've got a friend down here. He got one.
Yeah.
And he brought it to the match, and then he was shooting rimfire rifle. I'm like, why aren't you shooting that gun?
Yeah.
It's the rule. You get a new gun, you shoot it.
It's crazy. I think I want to address this real quick because I get a lot of questions. I know I've posted a video or two about it. So I think that they come with, at least the pre-production gun. I had one of the first couple. They came with a 90 locking piece. So you take the bolt apart, it just kind of twists in half. And then there's a locking piece in there. And that's what creates the amount of delay based on the angles of the locking piece. And I think my pre-production one came with a 90. And so that, it's not like a 90 degree, I don't believe. I didn't ask the engineers at JP necessarily about that. But the 90 means that it won't stay in battery or have a long delay. And the locking pieces, I call them locking pieces. I think they go down to maybe like a 60 or a 50. So I've had a 90, 80, and a 70. And that's what I run right now is a 70. So power. Let's talk about power factor. And then of course, every type of gunpowder acts a little bit differently in weights of bullets and so on and so forth. But with a 70 locking piece, I run 115 power factor ammo, either the 135 PNR or the 100, the 100 grain 115 power factor. It's about 115, maybe 114 power factor PNR ammo. The 100 is actually affectionately called the Steve Foster Special.
Nice.
Yeah, because I was designed for carry optics, limited, single stack, even PCC. It's a lighter bullet, reciprocates a little bit quicker than the 135, but the 135 is still my favorite when it comes to just a gentle push. It's extreme, like silly, stupid soft coming out of that JP5 with that 70 piece. But even the 100 is still pretty darn light. So I think that they're just now, maybe even this week, you can order different locking pieces for your JP5. So if you take yours apart and you have an 80, a 70 is kind of in that 115 range. I've not tested down to, they're supposed to make a 60 and a 50. I'm going to try to get my hands on one of those, but I've had a lot of people ask me, even this morning when I was driving to work at 5:30 this morning, I had somebody text me, "Hey man, what load and what locking piece are you running?" So I just want to kind of get that out there. And yeah, man, those guns are bad news. The other thing that I'll address real quick with that is I had one of the pre-production ones, and then I ordered one. I think it was right around July 1st of last year. And I got notification from one of the fellas at JP that I will be shipping here in about 2 to 3 weeks. So that's kind of where they're at. They got all hands on deck building JP5s, but it's gonna be, so if you order one a year ago, your number's coming up here pretty quick. So
super. And I'm assuming, that whole locking piece, you're going to have to play around with not only the power factor, but of course the bullet weight can make a difference, because I can have a 115 power factor on a 100 grain bullet, as opposed to a 115 power factor on, say, a 135 grain bullet, and that's going to act differently based on how it's going to kick the bolt back.
Yep.
So you got to play around with all that. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I shot one at the World Speed Shoot last year, and I'm just going to wait till you get tired of yours and then just buy your old one.
Yeah, that was my gun you shot.
Yes, it was. I'm happy to take Steve Foster hand-me-downs.
The interesting part, you're not the only person.
Get in line, right?
Oh yeah, no, I've had people coming out of the world. Hey man, what do you need all them JPs for? But the other interesting thing about it is a shooter style and preference. The bolt, in the article I wrote for Uspsa magazine, I guess it's been probably a year ago. The interesting part with the bolt is it's about a 40% less reciprocating mass than a GMR 15 bolt. So it weighs a few ounces. Well, I think it's 7 ounces. I don't have it in front of me. A few ounces less than the GMR 15 bolt, and so it's like the gun just feels quicker.
Yeah.
And I think what also with that is, and I'm not, I shoot 1-for-1 on steel. I'm not a USPSA guy. So I've actually got a slow trigger finger. People are like, oh man, you can't double tap like 10s or 15s or 13s. I'm like, no, man, a lot of people, it's just one of those things I just don't do. And so I was messing around with somebody while they were here training that shoots a lot of USPSA. They're like, oh yeah, I'm shooting, 13s, 14s. And with GMR 15, mine are a little bit higher. I'm not going to tell you how bad it is. It's pretty bad. But in the JP5, I can throw 13s and 14s down like it's nothing, just because it feels like, I don't know, it's like the trigger resets quicker. I don't know what that is.
Well,
but
I think it's just a combination of it's just the maturation of technologies.
Yeah.
You look at this is not a dig on the Ruger PCC. It's a very capable entry level gun, but it's a different style. It doesn't have a standard buffer, and you can do some trigger work on it. But then as you get into your classic, we'll call them AR9 styles, you've got a number of different drop-in triggers that you can do. I run all JPs and all JP triggers in all the guns I got, because I also still have a Lead Star. and so it changes over time, and hyperfires out there, and there's a whole bunch of triggers you can put in there, and changing springs and all that. So I think it's just a combination of the maturation of trigger technology.
Yeah.
But there's also just that concept of felt recoil.
Yeah.
And it's like the guns just reset faster.
Right.
And yeah, for those guys that are throwing, you look at you look at a guy like Max Leon-Grandis and what he can do with a PCC.
Yeah.
His splits are probably going to be insane. And now he's got a gun that's got even less recoil than anything on the market right now.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I've had to, we're talking rifles here. I've had to actually focus solely on the rifles for a while. I don't know if I've got arthritis, or somebody said it could be a ganglion cyst. I went and got an x-ray this week, and I'll get with my doctor, but on the inside of my right thumb, I've got this knot that I can still shoot rimfire pistol okay, but any of the centerfire guns, it just, the recoil is just killing me. So I've had to focus, change my goals and focus on the rifles for that. So, if you're listening, Grimy and Halsell and all you guys that have been beat me, I'm coming for you this year at Worlds in the rifle category.
You got some old man stuff going on there. I do too. I don't know what it is. It's before my long stint in the hospital. I say long. I know people have been in the hospital a lot longer than I have, but I did something to my right shoulder, I don't know, a year and a half ago, and it got aggravated from working out. And, here before I went into the hospital, I couldn't even bring a gun up to my eye. It just hurt my right shoulder. And so once I got back out on the range here a couple weeks ago, I shot pistols. Yeah, it's still not the same. So I may be in that same bucket with you. I love shooting all guns, but maybe just gonna have to be a lot more rifles and come back to the pistols here in a little bit.
I'm with you on that. It's and that's a nice thing about Steel Challenge is that, there's 13 divisions. There's got to be one that you can find that you like, that you can shoot, that you can have fun.
Yeah.
And, we all take it seriously. We all want to win. We all want to do well, but I've said it 100 times and I'll say it a million times more. It's a game.
Yeah.
And we are all going to spend a lot more money, buying JP5s than we're ever going to make in this game.
Speak for yourself, Jeff. Oh, that's too funny.
But yeah, it's been fun. I'm looking forward. I really hope you get to make it to Georgia. I love to go shoot and definitely want to do the best. That match last year was a great time, with a lot of involvement. It's kind of been cursed this year, based on I think in March, when it was originally supposed to happen, the range ended up being underwater. And then it was rescheduled for July, and I think Jamie got deployed.
Oh yeah,
he's the
or he
match
was,
director.
yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be the end of September. So for those, there's still spots open. Sign up. Trust me, you will have a good time. I'm not sure what he's got planned this year, but I know he's got ROs, and last year he had painters. And it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I hope I can make it down. That's a couple of weeks. It's September 1st, son.
I know. It's end of the month.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've got this weekend we've got our work party, which I don't know why they call it a party, because it's anything but that, but it's doing range cleanup around the range and doing whatever you can at the whack. And then second weekend will be my Saturday night match. And here's a cool thing. The Ruskin range down here has now started a second Sunday match. They've had that for a while, but they've done some range renovations, and now they're shooting all 8 in a
awesome.
4-flip-4 method, and they're limiting the squads to 9 guns, which is nice.
Really?
Because then you're not there till 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing. So So we'll do that, and then the third Saturday will be the WAC match, and then the fourth is the Georgia match, and then the week after that is the Area 6, which I still got to get signed up for. You going to try to come down to Area 6?
I would love to shoot it, but I don't think I'll be able to, just again because of work and not knowing what our peak's gonna really look like. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it. I get it. Have you gotten past the 15-hour days you were working in the beginning?
Man, these half hour or these half days are killing me. Yeah, well, it's a little bit less than that, but whew, I feel the ground trembling underneath me. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. We got a great leadership team and some good folks, and yeah. So
That's good.
I'm looking forward to it for sure.
That's great. Well, I don't have much more to say other than it's glad to be back on the podcast and just having fun. We're gonna have to get some guests on here and have a good time and just try to bring some information out to everybody. For those that did vote, thank you for voting. Whoever you voted for, it is you're right. It was kind of disturbing when I saw that there was 30,000 eligible voters and I think less than 7,000 votes were cast.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's I don't think that's outside the norm from the other ones, but this is your chance, just like it is in our government to voice your opinion and vote for the person you think is the best suited. And
Yep.
the majority of them chose Yi Min. And did you see too? There was they have chosen the managing director.
Yeah, I did see that. I don't know her, or I don't know much about her.
I do not either. I know that she has been, I believe, she's been helping out Bruce for the Area 6 match in USPSA the last couple of years. But yeah, congratulations to Donna Webb on being appointed our new managing director, and we're hoping for some good things there. It would be nice to get back to the old days of just seeing fun stuff and not all the controversies that are going on now. And I'm not going to go into them, but if you've been online, you've seen them.
Is there controversy? I didn't know that.
We're just going to leave it as, if you don't know, go online and you'll find it. It won't take you long.
Look, man, I've been in this sport, for, I don't know, 10, 11 years, something like that. But seriously, doing it for the last 6 or 7, I've never seen anything like this. This is crazy.
It's just a different time. And, we'll you got to weather it through. I mean, there's going to be new elections next year with area directors. I think there's at least 1, if not 2 spots coming up. And
Yeah.
I've seen people throwing their name in the hat for that. And, I know who I like. But, I think everybody should take the opportunity. I thought they did a really good job with the candidates that could. There were podcasts out there, not just the USPSA podcast, but a number of other ones that interviewed the candidates and gave you idea of what they stood for and giving people a better chance to make a decision on who they were going to vote for. And I think that's great. I know I saw at least 3 or 4 different podcast outlets that had done interviews.
Yeah.
So that was good. All right.
Well, man.
For everybody that missed us, we're back. And Steve and I are going to be much more diligent about doing these, and we're going to come up with some ideas. This one was kind of more of a, hey, we're back. Welcome back. And we'll get some content. Of course, anybody who's interested, please throw out some ideas on the Steel Target Paint Podcast Facebook page. We'd love to hear your ideas of what you'd like to hear, who you might like to talk to, and we can try to get those people on. And, a couple of years ago, we did one of those town halls where we just opened up a video Zoom and had everybody get on. And who knows, maybe we'll do a couple of those again. That was a lot of fun, just having people come on and just seeing people and having a good time there. So keep that in mind as well.
Sounds good. It was good talking with you, Jeff.
All right, Steve, have a good one. And
All right, see you,
hey,
brother.
Steve, no. Sorry.
SG Podcast 10. I got you, man.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
take care.
everybody.
See ya.
Bye-bye.